estate to real estate. It's Money Matters with Dino.
Yeah, we talked earlier about the executor and trustee and all that. So a lot of times you'll see, let's say there was 3 kids, the one that either the oldest or the most financially responsible or the one that the parents thought would have been the best one to handle the situation. So they leave it to one of the kids. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's a mistake to do that? Should they always just have a professional doing it, whether it be an attorney or somebody that just that's all they do?
I think in a lot of cases that's the best way to go. Now, of course, depending on the size of the estate, it may not be feasible, right? So, some firms won't take on cases unless they're a certain size, So professional trustees, maybe they have certain minimums. Just because the fee structure, the way that it's set up, it becomes cost prohibitive to the trust. Mm-hmm. You're going to eat up trust assets just to go ahead and pay fees. No one really wins when that happens. But in larger estates, I really think people should do that, because a lot of times parents see things the way they want to see them, not necessarily the way that they actually are.
Sure.
So a lot of times people say, well, my kids, they get along just fine. There shouldn't be a problem. So I'll go ahead and name this one person. They'll just take care of everything, and then the other 2 will step in the line. Maybe not. There could be some deep-seated animosity that's been going on for the last 20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
And the only reason that it didn't rear its ugly head before was because mom and dad were around to keep the peace. But the minute that mom and dad are no longer around, the knives come out. And it really puts the person that's in charge of the money, it puts them in a bad situation. Sure. Because now all of a sudden, maybe there's a sibling that they don't get along with, and they're getting sued. And when you get sued, it's a very, very personal thing, especially in the estate planning context, because as a trustee or an executor, if you lose, because usually that lawsuit is saying, we think you're doing a bad job managing the money. I should have gotten more. You screwed up somewhere along the line. If you lose, you pay. It's not the trust money, it's your money. So not only is it the emotional and mental anguish that you have to go through a lawsuit, but if you lose, it's coming out of your pocket. Whereas if a third party was chosen, maybe the kids can kind of band together and, hate that third party, but at least they're not fighting with one another.
Got it. That makes sense.
Let me add one thing on that point, because it's a critical point. What I've found is I agree wholeheartedly on the size to be the determining factor, whether you go to an outside trustee, et cetera. What I've found, I know in my family, for example, family traditional trust, my father is gone, so it's just my mom now. My brother, who is the surgeon, he's the power of attorney for the health care. On the financial matters, I handle it. So sometimes it's a good thing, and when I sit with clients, I always see sometimes there may be sort of propensity someone to have more sensibility towards an area of their life. Another issue that comes up a lot is, Blair, I have 3 kids, should we have 2 of them as co-trustees? I tell people it's hard to find 2 people who even want to have lunch at the same place. But there's some basic guidelines, but to validate what Bob says is the belief that, my kids get along great, trust me, parents gone, I see this monthly. I have 3 families who were incredibly close, 3 girls, haven't spoken in 2 years now.